Oh, about the Vita Nuova. Yeah, well, so I gave you a table of contents from my edition. And if you just sort of glancing down, you will see that I always tell you when a poem is included in the Vita Nuova. But then it also says prima redazione under some of them. That's because what De Robertis ultimately did was include in his edition of Dante's lyrics just the poems of the Vita Nuova that exist in una prima redazione. That is, he fetishizes the material object to the degree that if he has the material proof that it existed prior to the Vita Nuova, he puts it in the edition of the Rime. If he doesn't have the material proof, he doesn't. So, Donne che avete, we have no doubt that it's Dante's, but it's not in the Società Dantesca's edition of Dante's Rime because we only have it in the Veste della Vita Nuova. And I picked Donne che avete on purpose because Donne che avete was circulating, we know, in another anthology of poetry that existed prior to the Vita Nuova, but it's not in the Società Dantesca's edition of the Rime. So I decided, and Fabio was asking me today why I did, and I'm not sure I gave him a good enough answer, but I decided that where De Robertis gives us a prima redazione, to use the prima redazione. And then for the 18 poems of the Vita Nuova that De Robertis does not include because they don't have a prima redazione, I take them from the Vita Nuova. And so the poem that Paolo is going to read now is a poem that is in all anthologies of Italian literature. It's Tanto, gentile, tanto, onesta, pare. But I've published it in the prima redazione that De Robertis publishes. And so you're going to hear it, but you will also see the variants are really, they're really minor. There's only one poem in the Vita Nuova where the variants are very significant. And so that one, I just decided to publish both forms. That's Era venuta nella mente mia, which in the earlier form does not have due cominciamenti. So the fact that Dante gives a primo and a secondo cominciamento in the Vita Nuova becomes extremely interesting. Also the fact that that's a wonderful case of hermeneutics and bearing on philology bearing on hermeneutics, because there is a mountain of criticism on which of those two cominciamenti Dante intended. None of them are relevant once you have a prima redazione, because then you see which is the one he wrote first. It's right there. And so you have no idea how much was written on those two cominciamenti, all of which, in that case, it's very useful to have a material record, and so we use it when we have it. But we don't let the material record stop us from publishing something that we know is Dante's when we don't have the material record. That was the principle there. So Paolo is now going to read Tanto gentile, tanto onesta pare.
Tanto gentile e tanto onesta pare la donna mia quand'ella altrui saluta, ch'ogni lingua divien tremando muta e gli occhi non l'ardiscon di guardare. Ella sen va, sentendosi laudare, benignamente d'umiltà vestuta. Credo che sia cosa venuta da cielo in terra a miracol mostrare. Mostrasi sì piacente a chi la mira, che fier per gli occhi una dolcezza al core, che intender non la può chi non la prova. E par che della sua labbia si mova un spirito soave e pien d'amore che va dicendo all'anima sospira. L'imperativo conclusivo ha l'effetto di aprire il sonetto, dilatandolo come la fiducia del pellegrino paragonata a una rosa in Paradiso 22, così m'ha dilatata mia fidanza, come il sol fa la rosa quando aperta. O meglio, il dilatarsi di tanto gentile tramite l'imperativo sospira nel discorso diretto finale, rammenta il dilatarsi del sospiro divino nel momento della creazione, del manifestarsi dell'universo, il momento in cui il divino artefice s'aperse in nuovi amor, solo perché suo splendore potesse, risplendendo, dir subsisto, Paradiso 29. Il divino afflato, accolto col discorso diretto del dir subsisto di Paradiso 29, è il discendente poetico dell'afflato amoroso che va dicendo all'anima sospira nel verso finale di Tanto, gentile.